Good morning, it's now day 3 and we're setting off actually it's exactly 7 o'clock in the morning. We were trying to get out a little bit earlier, we got up at 5, but it's good. It's a nice fresh temperature now, so making progress. So we made some new friends at the campsite. They're all doing the same stretch as us today. So we've been walking up this hill together. Looks like it starts to go down again now, which is good. It's been quite steep. Just came across this really pretty waterfall and we saw a red grouse. The scenery. Yeah, this is just coming up behind. And we found bilberry bushes. So we've been eating bilberries. Still a little bit of mist, but now the sun's starting to break through. It's getting hotter and hotter, especially with the uphill climb. So you have to keep stopping for little rests. So here's the bilberries. Look, actually, one of the guys that we camped with last night introduced me to them. I've seen them on YouTube videos, but I've never seen them in real life. So this is what they look like, and you can see the little berries. You have to pick them off individually. They're really taste a little bit like blackberry, not quite the same. So we're walking on Black Hill, which, as you can see, isn't very black anymore. It used to be just peat because it was so well trodden from the path and people walking on it that all the plants disappeared completely. But there was a big effort to replant it, and now it's got a lot of heather, it's got all the bilberries, it's got these you can just see some over there, there's the bog cotton and all these grasses, these sort of spiky grasses that you can see. Some bits are still a little bit black looking, but hardly any now. So they've done a really, really good job at establishing all the plants again. Making pretty good progress, considering we had a big hill back there. We're a few miles in now. It's starting to heat up, but it's still quite a pleasant temperature. It's warm, but it doesn't feel overwhelming today like it did yesterday. Not yet at least, but we're still only at 9 in the morning, so plenty of time for that. We can see just around this corner, I'll probably be able to show you, there was a view of the first reservoir. I'm going to pass by 3 reservoirs today. So that was a bit unfortunate. The nice little video that I just made for you with I was going to show you the reservoir, that was the wrong path. And it was my fault because I was using the Garmin and the Garmin looked like it was pointing up that path. So we went up there. There's this other guy up in front of us that was also trusting the Garmin. We got half a mile down there, realised not actually on the Pennine Way anymore, so had to walk all the way back. Now we're on the right path and nobody trusts the Garmin anymore, or me, so never mind. I have to keep my eye on it when it makes a decision and just check that we're on the line, what it says, because it looks so clearly pointing up the right direction, but then later on the GPS suddenly jumps you along a bit or something, so I have to keep an eye on that. Look at the scenery, we're right on the edge of the mountain here. There's the path. So we just stopped for a little bit on this little flat stretch of ground. It's next to this beautiful stream. Paul's now down there sorting some things out. We had a nice cup of tea and a cake. So what we're doing to try and keep ourselves cool, we've we rinsed our t-shirts out in the stream, and we wetted our bandanas and put them on our heads again, which just makes a hell of a difference to the heat. And we've got like 2 t-shirts each, so we've washed the one that we were wearing that was all sweaty, just rinsed it out. So we've got like a spare wet t-shirt, so when we get really hot later on we can change it over, unless it's dried of course. But it just really helps, you know, to keep your head cool. And we both feel really good today. We ate an Indian meal for dinner last night, which was good because the campsite let us do takeaway, and it was free delivery from an Indian restaurant. Actually, I don't know where they came from, one of the neighbouring villages. So we feel like we've been well fed. We had a decent breakfast this morning, and after setting off at 7, it's now like 10 o'clock, 10:30. We've done, I think, about 5 miles or something, which of course includes a mile going the wrong way. Oops, never mind. It's all part of the experience, isn't it? So we've got probably about 10 more miles to do, and the plan today is to go to Marsden. Marsden's not actually on the route. Just let me sit down again. Still got my cup of tea here. Marsden's not on the route, but we're going to go off the route to go to Marsden because it's got a co-op. So at least I'll be able to stock up on a few you know, energy bars and things like that, because actually we've nearly run out. I've got 1 left. We need to stock up with some snacky food things again, especially daytime stuff. We're all right for dinners and we're all right for breakfast. There's a possibility of a snack van on the way. So, in fact, I'm just going to show you the map now. Oops. All right, so here's the map. This is where we slept last night, in Crowden. And then, so we followed the path up here. And then we followed it up here. This is where we went wrong. We went halfway to the reservoir that we could see. So we had to backtrack this bit and then go along a bit again. And let's see, where's this river? The river bit is here. So this is where we are right now. So actually, Black Hill is a bit further on. I thought it was back there. So we've got, it looks like fairly gentle gradient, so it shouldn't be too bad. Love the names of some of the places. Look, Soldier's Lump. So we got Black Hill, and then we cut up there. This one looks a little bit steep. And then we're over the page. Right, there's Marsden. So we join in on the bottom of the page here. And then when we get to the road, there's a possibility of a snack van called Snoopy's, apparently. Not sure how old the book is, so whether that'll still be there. We'll assume it's not going to be there, but it'll be a nice surprise if it is. Then we continue, and the Pennine Way actually goes across here. But what we're going to do, we're kind of going to do a triangle. We're going to go up to Marsden, and then there's another path. You can just see a little bit of it here. It basically forms a triangle back to the Pennine Way. So, which if we turn the page, would lead us, I think, down this one here. So then we'd be back on the Pennine Way. There's the carriage house. So that's a campsite possibility there. That seems to be the only one really in the area. There's a pub as well. And if not, we can continue a little bit further and find somewhere in this area for wild camping, which would be a possibility as well, or possibly in this area. But we'll see how we get on. We've got another 10 miles probably to Marsden. Quite looking forward to seeing Marsden. It's got quite a history with walkers. It's very welcoming to walkers. So there's facilities there and pubs, co-op. It'll be good to just see a bit of civilization, and also to charge up our equipment a little bit, because we didn't bring the solar charger on this trip. So it would be good to just get a burst of power, charge our phones up, charge the battery pack up, and sort of reset a little bit like that. little frog. Looks quite gilded, doesn't he? Not going to move for me now.
Have to move soon with that heat.
He needs to go back to the water, doesn't he? Lots of this bog cotton around. We seem to have reached a kind of plateau here. Done quite an uphill coming up these slabs. It's really hot, it seems to reflect off them, so we're both feeling a little bit overheated even with our slightly damp buffs on our heads. There's a radio tower over there. Not sure if it's showing up on here actually. Let's have a look. There it is. So I'm not sure if we're on Black Hill. I'm going to check. So we made it to Black Hill, and we know that because there's a trig point back there. Suddenly the path seems to be overflowing with people. There's people everywhere. Everyone's overtaking us, so we get to see everybody and have a chat with everyone, so it's like quite nice actually. Makes it feel like a community on the path, you know. So this is the area that they painstakingly replanted because it used to be just black peat, and now everywhere it's quite luscious and green. So we carry on, and then according to the map and the guidebook there's a ford, quite a big one, that if it's been raining heavily you have to paddle to cross it. So we'll see. I'm quite interested to see if it's going to be deep enough to paddle in or whether it's going to be just a trickle. And then after that we get the road with the possible snack van. So we've just come across the top of Black Hill and got this really nice view. It's a little bit hazy today, so it's not very clear. You can start to see the road going across at the top there. We're making really good, like, quick progress because it's really easy walking for the last couple of miles. So there it is. We've got to go down this steep descent to get to it. Looks like we can pick our way across the rocks and we don't actually have to get our feet wet at all. I was expecting to have to paddle up to my knees or something, but not. So this is Dean Clough Pass. So there's the road up the top by the little wall, and as you can see there's no snack van. So it looks like, because we bought a couple of like pasta and sauce things yesterday, might be having that for lunch, which is okay too. No falafel bar today. So we crossed over the main road and now we've got a nice view of two reservoirs. So we pass down and walk by both of these reservoirs, and then there's another reservoir after that. We're in reservoir territory. Wow, I only just clicked off on my video. There's 5 grouse flying over there, red grouse. Never seen them much before. I saw them one on the office dyke, but they're all over the place here. So we had to get them on film though because they fly off so quickly. You don't see them until they get scared and go off. Right, just better put my phone down so I can go across this stile, I think. So we stopped for some lunch here at the reservoir and Paul's just like, we've got to go in for a swim. He's just happy as Larry. So now I've got to go in as well because it's just so nice apparently. So we're back on the route now, all well rested. We'd had our pasta and sauce packets, found a way back to the route coming up. So basically now we're following reservoirs. So we've got the one we just came from, the one you can see in front, and then after that another one, and we walk by the reservoirs for the whole time into Marsden, which sounds really nice. So it should be quite pretty. It's interesting statue bowl, not really sure what it is. So I'm starting to struggle a bit now. We've been out in the sun, it's quite relentless for quite a few hours. Like, we started at 7, it's now 20 to 5, so we've only managed to sit in the shade for about 15 minutes the whole day. So I'm starting to feel really frazzled. Paul's just gone down, there's a stream down there. He's going to dip our buffs in it to try and cool our heads down again. We're not too far from Marsden. I'm just really looking forward to getting there and just getting in the shade, to be honest. It feels really exposed, you know. You kind of, I don't know, it feels actually hotter now than it was at midday. I felt okay then, but just sort of slowly psychologically going down. I can feel my thoughts becoming a bit negative and I'm getting a little bit grouchy and slightly miserable. Paul's like teasing me and cheering me up, making me laugh, but I just need to stop now. And my, I think I'm burning my arms a lot. I keep putting sun cream on, more sun cream, but it just seems to be, I don't know, I've like got this massive tan. You probably can't see it on the film, but I've only been out in the sun for like 2-3 days now. This is the brownest I've been for years. But we hopefully should be there. We could see Marsden, so it's not very far. So maybe half an hour's walk and we'll be in Marsden. And then hopefully we can be in an air-conditioned shop for a bit, and that would be a special treat, I tell you. I just spotted this mad caterpillar. There's Marsden. Yeah, this is our wild camp. We bottled it, decided to get booze and fried food in the pub instead.